YouTubes for the May 14th Westlake Charter School board meeting. Our board president, Golick, is out today, so we are being led by Vice President Sean Berman. Vice President Berman, you have the YouTubes.
Thank you. If you are participating via the live stream and wish to make a public comment, you may submit your comment, limited to 250 words, to admin@westlakecharter.com. Every effort will be made to read your comment into the record, but some comments may not be read due to time limitations. Comments received after an agenda item will be made part of the record if received prior to the end of the meeting. Amy, will you call roll, please?
Yes. Pope, Sean,
Here.
Josh,
Here.
Satvir,
Here.
Sally, yep. Amber, here. Suzanne, Nurali,
Here.
Katie.
Here. All right, that brings us to celebrations. Would anybody like to volunteer to go first?
You guys are moving, I saw you both moving to the mic.
I will celebrate Mr. Jose. Mr. Jose is everywhere all the time. The hardest worker, never stops. But on these nights where I'm like in my classroom a little later, I get to talk to him, and he's just like busy all the time on this campus and the high school. And I hope he sleeps at some point.
That guy would work 24 hours a day if you let him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, he is literally the hardest worker
Yeah.
and so skilled at everything he does. He can do everything from fix it to clean it to, he's everything. Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah. We're going your way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
I second that Mr. Jose celebration. He's
Yeah.
an awesome human. My celebration is Teacher Appreciation Week. Was so special, you guys. The notes that people write, I look forward to them every year, and every year I print them out and I put them in my inspiration file, and about every 5 years I'll pull everything out and read over it, and it just fills my heart forever.
Yeah.
And thank you for all the food and the care and the time, and it was really special.
Yeah, love it. Love that.
Can I celebrate Sally?
Yeah.
So whenever I see her, so she has two of my kids in different ways, kind of, and whenever I see her, she shares something with me about them that they would never tell me. And it's just so lovely. I appreciate it so much, things that they never share with me, and they just adore you. So thank you.
It is the greatest teacher gift, and both of the teachers on our board have that gift because I've had students in both of their classrooms. And there's something special about a teacher who goes, oh, hey, when you weren't present and I was with your kid, they did this. And both these guys are so good at that.
And you get to just see a piece that you don't
it's such
experience.
a gift. It's such a gift. I love
Lovely.
it. Steve, you playing?
Yeah. I just think the activities that are going on around campus, whether it's, again, staff appreciation or athletics and playoffs, there's just like so much going on. Field lessons are popping off and going on. There's just like a lot going on, and it's really cool seeing it all happen.
Yeah, second grade was very ambitious.
Yes.
He double dipped into a field lesson and open house on the same day. I was like,
Yeah.
well, that's pretty exhausting. That would be done. Yeah.
I'm going to celebrate our second graduation coming up.
Let's
we got
go.
our ticket today. Looking forward to it. We all know what to do now.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Bigger, better, and more explosive than last year.
Got it.
Don't explode anything.
That's right.
I'll celebrate my U8 softball team.
Let's go.
Unfortunately, they were the defending champ and they lost in the opening round, and a lot of tears were shed, and I started crying. But it was so awesome. The team that won had a few girls from Westlake, and they're going on to the final. So hopefully they win, right? So I mean, just seeing the girls compete at a U8 level in Little League softball is so awesome.
So awesome. Love that. Love that.
I'm going to celebrate International Festival. I love going to it because I love seeing the different families that take the booth on. Every year there's some reoccurring families where you know what to expect, and there's always a line of those families, and there's new families that come and participate, and really being able to see that piece, it's just one of my favorite things of the school that we offer. So
Love that. Love it.
I will celebrate Dr. Ike and Steve Corvink because, as the Beatles said, I get by with a little help from my friends, and they have kind of like hand-held me through running this meeting tonight, and I really appreciate that.
It's when we collaborate. I love it. I will celebrate something I've been had on the celebration tour now for a couple of weeks. It's a big deal to me. In 2006, which is 20 years ago, I was only 12 years old. Just kidding. 20 years ago, in 2006, I was a vice principal at Natomas High School, and I had this great kid. And he always wore his goofy hat, and I'm always giving him a hard time about this hat because I'm a new vice principal, and he's like a senior in high school. I love this kid. And I fast forward 5 or 7 years or something, and I'm standing out in front of Westlake, and this kid of mine comes walking up with his kid. He got a little kid. I said, "Hey, a little version of you right there." And it was the first time I think I cognitively was like, "Oh yeah, this is how it's gonna go. I'm getting older. Like this is gonna happen." And fast forward a few 3-5 years, the student of mine, wonderful young man, became terminally ill, and he passed. And just before he passed, I had an opportunity to communicate with his family and say, "Hey, I got you kind of through high school. I got your kids." And we had not built the high school yet, so I was kind of making a promise I wasn't 100% sure I could fulfill. And then we opened the high school, and this little guy grew up to be about this big, and he entered our high school. And this season, he's walking across the stage at Westlake Charter High School as a graduate, and it's a promise fulfilled. And I gotta tell you, it's it's a gift. The people who work in education give a gift to the families who receive that education. That child is a promise delivered, and I didn't do nothing. I mean, I came to these board meetings once a month. Teachers, instructional aides, people poured in to make sure that this promise was fulfilled. Check, but every single kid out there in a silly little gown and a funny looking hat is a promise fulfilled, and it just reminds me how important it is, the work we do. So, I've been celebrating that on the celebration tour. It's a big deal to me. Keegan, you want to celebrate something? Skippies. A-Dub?
I will celebrate our field, our lawn.
It looks amazing.
It looks amazing, and the timing is perfect because we are planning field day, and it's a huge thing at the end of the year. It's a big culminating event, and all the kids and the teachers and everybody gets to go play. And sometimes our lawn has had some divots and some dead spots and some wet spots and like what is going on out here. But the lawn looks really beautiful. I don't know what they're doing to it.
I was going to ask if you knew.
I don't know.
Have they done something? As you, or you come on the weekends with the? Yeah. You got those little aerator shoes. You walk around with those shoes with the spikes. Yeah, I was out there today for the fire drill, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks really nice, and you can see that it's level as opposed to what we've had in the past, which is perfect timing because field day's coming.
Probably Mr. Rowe. He's out there mowing it, man.
Or it's Jose in the middle of the night.
Or it's Jose in the middle of the night. That's good. Okay.
Okay, that brings us to board comments. Are there any comments from the board on items not on the agenda? No? Seeing none, public comments.
While you guys are looking for public comments, we'll see if there's any public comments at the high school. Mrs. Mendez, are there any members of the public wishing to make a public comment?
There's no one here wanting to make a comment.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your support. And A-Dub, anything on the?
There's nothing other than there's some parent volunteer hours being logged, which is super cool to see.
We love that.
Nice, real time.
Celebrate that.
Okay, that brings us to reports. I believe we have a report from Wave.
True story.
I'm really short.
There we go.
Hi, Westlake Board. This is Felix Flores, the WAVE president. It is shortly after open house. Hopefully everyone had a great open house. As you can tell, my hair is a little affected by the wind tonight, so please excuse the fluffy hairstyle. I'm excited to talk to you this evening about kind of updates with WAVE. The first would just be on the elections. So we held our board elections at the end of April. I was nominated and voted to become back as president. Whitney Browning is coming back as the VP of Parent Engagement. Sandra Kroll is coming back as the VP of Business Affairs. And then we'll be introducing Amy Wall back into the WAVE Executive Board as secretary. So it'll be great to have a quorum plus one finally for the next school year itself. We do have some folks who came in as leads for middle school and a couple of other positions. However, we will be recruiting and kind of prospecting some folks to be nominated potentially for the board in the fall, if not earlier, over the summer. So we'll be doing that. We have a couple positions that are still open for both the executive board as well as with some parent engagement opportunities as well. So we're excited for that. Number two, I would say, is that we had a successful international festival. We came slightly under budget revenue-wise from what we were hoping for by a few $100s. However, it wasn't necessarily had a negative impact on us in that sense. Expenses-wise was right about where we needed it to be. Notably, I would say this year we had less booths than what we were hoping for. We had 15 booths versus 20. And it seemed overall like a lighter crowd than what we've had in the past. This was also a change in dates. We decided to return back to the late April date that we had 2 years ago versus our earlier date that we had last April before spring break. There was also just some sports and other activities commitments that were pretty busy on the 25th that were out of our realm when we habitually picked this date back in July, I think, of 2025. So, overall, I think it was a great event. We had some new additions and tweaks to the event to kind of make it more festive and community-minded. I think we're going to continue with those changes for the upcoming year. However, we will hope to increase both booth participation as well as attendance for next year as one of our focus for the Change International Festival. Lastly, I would say right now we are working on our budgets and priorities for next year. We'll have a draft of the budget to our board at the end of May. It's for that to be approved in June. We'll do a review of kind of our expenses between now and our board meeting in June to be able to kind of affirm what we think spending and priorities are going to look like. Also, we'll be working with Dr. Ike as well as any parent members that are involved in these alignment meetings to discuss both event planning, volunteer engagement, and then fundraising priorities, and where we feel like there could be some memorialized documents and agreements between WAVE and Westlake moving forward, hopefully not just for next year, but for ongoing years as well. So we're going to be putting that together as part of our priorities and budgets as well in the next couple of weeks. Lastly, I just wanted to give a moment of recognition, particularly to Whitney Browning and Sandra Kroll. Without those two, I can truthfully say that the events that you see at Westlake over the last year, it would not be able to put into place. Their commitment, hard work, and tireless effort to be able to make sure we execute on every event that we have so far has really been demonstrated by those two. So if you ever get a chance to see them, on campus, in an email chat, or anywhere else that you could be able to give them a shout out, I just wanted to make sure that you gave them a moment just to say a recognition. I think those two have really put in a tremendous amount of time and work to make sure that WAVE has become what it is this year. Other than that, I just wanted to wish you all a great night. Congratulations on a strong year. We're looking forward, obviously, to continue to build a stronger alignment and partnership between WAVE and Westlake moving forward. Now that this will be my third and potentially final year as president, I'm looking to make sure that next year goes as smooth, if not smoother, with a lot more impact than what we've had as we've gained more knowledge. And so with that, I wish you guys good night. And as always, I'm always just a phone call, email, or text away. If you need me for anything, you can reach us at wavewcs@gmail.com. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Felix Flores.
So that brings us to charter impact, and with Hope not here, I believe, Dr. Ike, you're going to inform us about that?
We had a nice charter impact committee meeting. We reviewed this version 7 of the strategic plan. I don't know, version 6. Anyway, we really focused on the metrics, kind of combing over the metrics, because the impact team were the ones who helped create the charter renewal monitoring guideline, really talking about criterion 2 and that type of, renewal status piece. They were really interested to lean into the metrics that are built into the strategic plan. So it was nice.
Great. Development?
We didn't meet, but we meet on Monday.
Okay. I think there's going to be a lot of that. Finance also did not meet, but we will be meeting this month where we will be discussing the budget for next year. Governance also did not meet because we did not have a quorum, And so that brings us to the executive director report.
Well, there you go. I told you it'd be a fast meeting. All those meetings. That's how you make a meeting short. Okay. Oh no, don't do that because then sorry, Felix. Have you start again. All right. Well, let's do what we do. We'll start with some celebrations. Got some strategic actions and some updates. Try to keep it fairly short tonight because I want to make sure we leave time at the end for strat plan review because this will be our last review before we go into seeking approval next month. So obviously. Awesome celebrations and great pictures. We got Sierra Outdoor School. Was it awesome?
Oh my gosh.
So good.
It's so memorable. Like memories are created at this experience, and we had a blast.
Yeah, it's such an awesome opportunity. And 21st Annual International Festival, which was celebrated a couple of times already tonight, but just what a great opportunity for our community to come out and celebrate. Good weather. It was a good day. Good day all the way around. This has a little video to it. Let's take a look at what it is. Our students, one junior, one senior, out in Houston, Kennedy Space Center, meeting with astronauts and showing off their NASA Hunch project. Remember, they were finalists at the national level in this competition. They got to sign this item that's going into space on the next mission. So their signature will go into space. How cool is that? Yeah, right? How cool is that, right? I wondered if you were interested in having these two gentlemen come out and present their project to the board. You guys are interested? I'd love to invite them out and show us, a little of what they do. It shows a little of the STEM work that's happening at the high school. I mean, this is a club, but obviously it's run by one of our science teachers, and it's really I'm really proud of the STEM work we're doing at our tiny little school.
And our next meeting, Josiah will have graduated.
That's
which
right.
is kind of funny.
He will be a graduate. That's right. He'll be in orbit. You see? You see what I did there? You see what I did? Yeah. Mrs. Tamer said they might be willing to come out and present. I was like, well, I'll ask. I love it. So let's go. Let's go. It is National Decision, or was National Decision Day, so a lot of our students, got an opportunity to get their picture taken with a pennant from where they've decided to attend. Lots of acceptances, lots of cool schools, and lots of pride, for our kids and where they've decided to go. Really, really proud of that. We're actually in the works right now of how do we? It's year 2. How do we make sure we capture all of the places we've been accepted from 1 and 2, so that 12 years from now we don't go back and go, oh, I wish you started writing it down then. So we're kind of creating kind of an acceptance wall somewhere so that we can have that data. Oh, the prom was so good. Yeah, the prom was great. Beautiful venue. Huge shout out to Abby Grimaldi and all of the amazing leadership students that kind of are involved in this, and all of the staff who helped put it on and helped chaperone it. But yeah, prom was a spectacular event in a beautiful outdoor venue in Old Sac. So really, really great stuff there. And this, Steve, you're saying is like a busy time for all the things, but athletics have just been on fire, as you well know. Our amazing girls soccer team made a deep playoff run, and I know it's a tearjerker whenever you lose, but they got knocked out of the deep run of the playoffs, and the boys volleyball made it all the way to 14 after a questionable call by the referees. But. Right, I know, that's the word of the street. I'm sorry. Hey, look, we should be proud of all of these athletes. I mean, my goodness, what a show they put on. And whether they made it to playoffs or not, really, it's their integrity and the character with which all these kids conduct themselves, which makes them so incredibly impressive, in my opinion. So really proud of our athletes and our program. We show well, yeah.
I was at the basketball game for middle school this afternoon, and the high school kids are coaching and refereeing and scorekeeping.
Self-control too. I feel you. I got this. Oh, you got this. Okay, you got this. Yeah, I tell you, our high school students are phenomenal in so many ways. Yeah, I love the leadership. And speaking of leadership, well, good segue there. Our 2026-2027 student council. Look at some of those faces up there. Have been here since their faces were kindergarten faces. So it's a big deal. You got some K-12ers up there, so it's spectacular. And a big shout out to our Wave team. I know we should celebrate them monthly, but like they spent so much time and effort celebrating our staff, and our staff felt it. And so I think I'd like to make sure we celebrate them for all the hard work they do around events, all these amazing events, as community builders, all the fundraisers they do. But for this big one here where they put on celebrations for our staff, it's appreciated. And then a little celebration of Staff Appreciation Week. It was a great week. There was all kinds of goodness going on. For the certificated staff, a little part of that was the compensation update. And so I'll shout out the finance team for that. So good work, everybody, on celebrating Staff Appreciation Week. I'm giggling because the cereal bar just brings me such joy. I don't know why. Like, you could give me a dozen roses or whatever, but like a cereal bar, I was like, nailed it. Yeah, so great. Great. And big shout out to the counseling team who orchestrated Mental Health Awareness Week. And even a little part of it rolled over into open house. I don't know if you saw them they had the stress ball table at open house where the kids were making stress balls, which was an extension of our activities from Mental Health Awareness Week. Very good. And speaking of open house, all the segues tonight, a fantastic open house. I was giving shout out to third grade. I thought the third grade had a really cool flex room. Seventh grade had these, I walked in and I thought, oh, this must be a social science activity with all these castles. Turned out it was math science doing these geometry castles, and they created a competition out of it. And so the kids all brought their parents, go, Mom, you got to vote for ours. And all of a sudden, the place is packed. It was interactive. Really cool, really cool. So much good stuff. I think that's sixth grade right there. That's sixth grade right there? Yeah, I saw those in Hatch's room. Yeah, open house was fantastic. Really a great night. Well attended, and great stuff. Did I miss any celebrations that we should have made? Yeah, what do you got, Hubba?
Our admin team took care of us last week and this week, and the day after open house is always a drag for us to get here and be like, okay. But our admin team had a coffee bar for us this morning, and that was very much appreciated.
Yes, you got a bunch of former amazing teachers, and that admin's, they're like, we remember. The day after open house, like, dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Oh, that's good. All right, strategic actions. I'm just going to cover end-of-year activities and staffing for the 26-27 school year. There's a lot going on right now, and it feels like it's just getting started, right? You got a successful CASP testing that just launched, and Staff Appreciation Week just closed, and prom was amazing. The high school course selection and master scheduling, which is a big deal right now. We're all working really hard to make sure that master schedule is tight for the fall. Class formation, what the elementary teams are working hard on, K-8 open house, field lessons. You recall that we don't have a high school open house, and we do that because now we're having 2 high school back-to-school nights. You recall we made that shift this year, so this will be the first year that we haven't had a high school open house. All the field lessons. If you're second grade, just want a field lesson. There's still a few field lessons left in the school year. Field day is coming up. We'll have tons of volunteers out that will ruin the grass. Sorry about that. High school graduation is just around the corner. And for me, it's so out of order, too. I'm like, it should go promotion graduation because you're going 8th grade. You have a high school graduation, right? Promotion. Then we have end-of-year breakfast. We have all the things. It is a very busy time to be a school person, or even a school parent, I suppose, right? I mean, all of the above. It's a busy time, end-of-year activities right now. This is where you come in. This is your formal, informal invitation. So high school graduation for our board members. It is Tuesday, June 9th. The location is the Sacramento Memorial Auditorium. Please arrive at 5 p.m. If you are too late, you'll come wandering out on stage and look silly, so you got to be there at 5 p.m. Your role as a board member is an on-stage dignitary, so practice your dignifiedness. I don't know, I think we just sit there. Or we're explosive. Yeah, you're doing it now. This is rehearsal. You're crushing it. I'll give you notes later. And tickets are available tonight, so if you haven't already gotten your tickets, or if you need a +1 for a spouse who somebody wants to come and attend, we have the +1 for you, where they can sit in the dignitary box. 8th grade promotion, the dignitary box. The dignitary seating, the dignitary balcony. I don't really know. It's a seating area. The 8th grade promotion is Wednesday, June 10th at the Mabry campus in our gymnasium. I wish I had a fancier name because the Memorial Auditorium sounds so cool, and I wanted to call it something, but I didn't. Your arrival time is 3:45 p.m. You are also an on-stage dignitary, same role, still doing it, and that's that. And you have tickets.
Yeah, well, it's the invitation. You just need to RSVP to me so that I can let Tony know, so you get your tickets.
Okay, great. We'll hand those out.
Yes.
Fantastic. Any questions on that particular action? Cool. Very good, very good. Oh, strategic action, talking about the staffing. Yeah, staffing for the fall of 26-27. Our K-8 staffing certificated open positions right now are just K-8 Spanish, so we're looking for a K-8 Spanish teacher. All of the positions are currently filled. Really good news too, like on the positions that were open and needed to be filled, all of the applicants who applied and were hired for open positions all had multiple years of experience. And I think there's been some years in our recent history where we've leaned more heavily on interns or on new teachers out of college for credentials, but for whatever reason, the pool was really strong this year, and I think we got some really strong hires. And for those of us who, work on that side of the shop, like we know that onboarding a person with multiple years of experience is easier than onboarding someone who's never set up a classroom for the first time, So really looking forward to the launch of the year. One K-8 Spanish opening, and then on 9/12 we have an English opening and a social science opening that this week we are in round 2s on, so I feel pretty confident about those. On the special education side of the house, though, we do have one education specialist opening right now and a speech language pathologist opening. You'll recall that we utilize an outside vendor for speech language pathology, but we've gone ahead and floated the position because we'd love to have somebody who works at Westlake be our speech language pathologist, and we've had some really good interviews, and fingers crossed we able to land somebody and grow them here at Westlake Charter School as opposed to using an outside vendor. Having said that, the vendors that we've used have been spectacular. We've had amazing services, but it'd be nice to have an in-house provider. We feel confident that we'll open the 26-27 year fully staffed, though it's not early in the game, but it's still early enough to only have a couple of positions. So, and it's also possible still that somebody doesn't return and we'll pivot and fill that position. But I feel confident that we'll open fully staffed in the fall. Any questions about that?
Question: How many any new teachers for K-8 this year? Or
yeah, there are a few teachers that we've already hired this year for some openings that we're gonna have next year. And I'll be reporting out on teacher retention as we get there, because I don't have any final numbers yet, but we're still well under our, the national average right now. Yeah, we feel pretty good about it. I'll report on that, though, as we go forward when we get the actuals all in. Yeah, I think we've hired 4 teachers in total. I'll report on it later, but one teacher who has moved to the Fresno area, another teacher has moved to a promotion, so a couple of openings, but we feel pretty good. Yeah. Let's go into some updates. Financial report to the Natomas Unified School District last night. The May revise came out from the governor today. Steve Corby walked in my office and said, "Oh, good, you're sitting down." I'm like, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, is this good or bad? I'm not sure. And then certificate. What was that?
So you could stand up and applaud.
Yeah, I didn't know that at the time. I literally was like, I cannot read your face right now. And then certificated compensation and benefits, just kind of an update on kind of where we're at there. This is a meme game. You get to put a thought bubble above these people's heads and say, what do you think they're thinking right now? Like, okay. Yeah, they're smiling. You're laughing with you. So we do our annual presentation in the Natomas Unified School District. This is the second time in 5 years that it's landed on open house. So it's kind of a little funny, like, welcome to open house. Whoop, gotta go. So we had this last night. We reported that our financials are healthy. We have a positive certification, and that because we're meeting our financial obligations for the current year plus 2 subsequent years. And it was a nice meeting. I mean, we have had meetings in the past where we were peppered with lots and lots of questions. We had an acknowledgement from one board member who said, "Hey, I see you guys. I see the work you're doing. We appreciate you." Another board member kind of gave us a, "Hey, good work." So it felt like, okay, yeah, we had it was quick, and it was kind of filled with gratitude. It was good.
Ms. Rice would like you to know that the gym is officially the Andes Mountain.
I as I say those words out loud, I was like, I could just call it what is it? It is the Andes. Thank you, Ms. Rice, for making that public on YouTube that I didn't know that. We'll talk in the morning about that. No, I'm kidding. I was trying to be like, is it the Galapagos? Is it? I thought it was the Galapagos. Oh, is this the Galapagos? We're in the Galapagos. It is the Andes Mountains. You'll be a meeting at 5:30 or 3:45 p.m. in the Andes Mountains. Thanks, Adab. Thanks, Rice. You're the best. Here comes the update from the governor. May revise. He looks the same way I looked when Steve said, "Oh, good, you're sitting down." I was like, what are you about to tell me? It's actually really great news. It came out with his May revise today. You remember that the COLA in January was projected to be 2.87, so we were hoping for 2.87. He came out with 4.31, with a significant increase for us based on every percentage point. Is not exactly $200,000, but roughly $200,000. That's a significant increase to our bottom line. Really impressive big news on these one-time funds. Beep, 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 just a truckload. We're like, if it all goes through, he was projecting $2.8 billion in one-time funds. Just kidding. He's doing $5 billion, and that's all going to Westlake Charter School, the whole thing. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. But yes, that's a near doubling of the one-time fund allocation. And this is kind of a really significant one, we think. He is committed to increasing special education funding by 43%. We could spend a lot of time at another board meeting talking about this term called encroachment, because you are allocated this many dollars for special education, but nobody can run a special education program on those many dollars. So how many dollars encroach into general fund dollars? We could talk about encroachment, average, over and under encroachment. This will not cover encroachment. However, it will cut it significantly. And so that's a lot of money. So we're doing back of the bar napkin math right now on how much you think we're getting that $5 billion. So we will not say out loud what we think, because we don't really know yet. But it's exciting news that, last month we said, let's do teacher compensation, and it's going to drive us down into the reserves. Now we're like, oh, a little help maybe along the way. So that feels pretty good. That's good. And I didn't see the last, I didn't click the last one. Yeah. And also some potential $440 million in literacy supports. And the way these two, this one, the COLA actually also has, the Super COLA has a little hitch to it. There's these little rider implications along all of them. So we have to go through all of this and look at, like, okay, can we get some of that money? Is it going to come our way? And what are the stipulations that come with it? But it's all very good news from the governor's report. Any questions while we have the slide up? Cool, because the answer will be, we probably don't know yet. It was like 3 hours ago. Certificate of compensation, I just wanted to kind of let you know that staff notifications went out. In the staff notification, everybody got an individualized, personalized letter. Great work for Joe Ashman and Steve Corvin, who put it together, that talked about, hey, this is how much you will make next year, and this is how much you were previously going to make next year, so that the letter kind of showed the comp increase that the board authorized. Also in the letter, it described cash in lieu sunsetting and what that kind of could or did or didn't mean if you were a cash in lieu, and also an invitation to collaborate, meaning, hey, if you want to look at your options regarding benefits and cash in lieu and all of that, we're available. And we've had lots of people reach out. In fact, one of the hidden benefits, I think, of this whole work was I've had several conversations with people who were maybe in column 2 who saw this, and I'm like, you got to get over to column 5, and we're starting to see them say, hey, I'm going to take some college classes this summer. So there's a lot of motivation to move toward column 5 because of the work you did, and that's really good for the organization, right? Because if people are moving across, we're hoping they're going to also move down, meaning stay here for a long time. So I think the retention work is real. Like I was indicating, lots of interest in advancement. People sought some clarity regarding timelines. Hey, when's open enrollment going to happen? I'm thinking about jumping from cash in lieu to benefits or back and forth. So lots of good inquiry, lots of good conversation. And our next steps include, we're working on some classified staff work right now, so we're working on that, as well as notifications with that. Classified get their next year's agreements after certificated, so they're closer toward the end of the year. We're also working right now on some draft copies of memos that talk about the cash in lieu sunset and talk about the catastrophic leave bank and how you would get involved in that or not. So we're vetting those right now and should have them ready. So by the opening of next year, we'll have lots of good clarity for all of our folks as they need it to make decisions. So thank you for that work, I guess, long and short. Any questions on that? All right. That buttons up my report. We should always have Sean in charge to tell you why. It goes quick. Just kidding, Hope. Just kidding. Just kidding.
No. Please come back, Hope.
Please come back. We need you.
Okay, so that brings us to consent agenda. I feel like we should check for public comment.
Yeah, let's do that.
There are still none.
Any volunteer hours coming through?
Awesome. Okay, so the consent agenda consists of items A through N. Does anybody have any questions or want to pull any items? And if not, I will look for a motion.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Sean,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Saphir,
Yes.
Sally,
Yes.
Amber,
Yes.
Nurali,
Yes.
Katie.
Yes.
Okay. So that brings us to discussion items, the first one being LCAP. And Steve.
Right, so no presentation tonight. It's all in the brief in the packet. So traditionally, the template will change, and it's changed every year, and the plan itself has remained consistent. This year, it's flipped. The template actually did not change, and what we've changed is what is in it because we're going through a strategic planning process. But what you will see is what's the content that is in the LCAP template now mimics what was in the strategic plan last month. So it's lagging to where we were at this point last month, but we will catch up and kind of skate to the puck in June when we look to adopt both the strategic plan and the LCAP. So if you're looking through the LCAP and you see some minor differences between what you're seeing now and the strategic plan that's currently in the packet, that might be because of that slight delay. But by the time we get here in June, they should perfectly align, and we should be able to walk forward and adopt an LCAP and strategic plan. And go on from there. But if you have any questions on LCAP between now and the next couple of weeks, please let me know. Be glad to take them.
Any questions on LCAP tonight? Yeah, thanks for the work on aligning it to version 6. We're on version 8 now, or 7. Yeah.
There we go.
No, thanks. It's
Yeah,
good. It's
yeah.
good. I was kind of like, oh, look at that. It's the new version. That's really cool. There we go.
So, speaking of which, now strategic plan draft feedback.
Yeah, so I would love to get your feedback on strategic plan. I have some copies that they hand out just so if you want to reference a page, you've got them in front of you. I do have a short set of slides, but if we can take one and pass them down or get those out, I'll get a couple of slides I'll walk through. How's everybody feeling roughly right now at 1 month out? You feel like this is roughly the version? Yeah, okay. Nobody came with a curveball like tonight. I want a goal number 6. Okay, all right, good. I did want to just kind of walk through kind of where we've been and where we are, and then we'll kind of launch our discussion. I did include Parkinson's law that states that work will expand to fit the amount of time it's allotted to. I think I probably could have written this strategic plan in a weekend, but since we gave it 10 months, it's taken all 10 months. I feel like I'm right at the end, like running out of time. You know what I mean? Like you could have done it furiously in a month, or you wait 10 months and you're like still at the end, you're stressed out. So here we are at the end, I'm a little stressed out, but like I just want to take us back on a little walk. We did a pretty deep dive and highly representative data collection. I was really proud of that data collection. I think we did some incredibly deep dive quantitative and qualitative analysis. We used statistical analysis. We used multiple regression to really look at like the data from a quantitative lens. The qualitative lens was the same software that I used in my dissertation. Like we did, it was really a fun project to get to know deeply where we are, what our current reality is. We did some deep theme analysis, took that to family focus groups, multiple staff focus groups. It feels like we arrived at a place that we knew what people thought about the school. We've had iterative version production, right, including board, admin, stakeholder feedback. And then here we are, welcome to version 8, which I think is just about the last version, and we'll end on 9 next month. So I kind of want to talk through like tonight. I am seeking agreement from the board, like I'm seeking like final agreement and feedback on the content, goals, beliefs, commitments, outcomes, actions, and measurements. I'm seeking agreement from the board tonight on like like, I'm gonna talk about a reporting cycle tonight, because there's all these measurements in the back. And I spent time in the last month kind of pulling it apart and putting it back together in a way that I'm gonna pitch tonight that I think is gonna put us on a very nice reporting cycle that will make sense to us. I'd like your feedback if you say, that does make sense, or try again, because I have a month. And then seeking final edits. I'm going to send this document out to the publisher, who's going to do all the formatting, layout, adding pictures, putting some testimonial bubbles in. It's going to lay out beautifully and look very nice. We're also going to have a digital flip book that we're going to embed in the website. But I'm sending it out next Thursday. So I have 1 week for Oxford commas or no Oxford commas. So I'd like to talk about like how we're going to get there if you want to get there. So these are the major features. I just want to make sure that we all are in agreement. This is me seeking agreement. Major feature number 1, goals are the desired state. Here's an example. School and community collaborate. There will be evidence that our community is thriving because voices are included, leadership is shared, and collaboration is the center of everything we do. That is a desired state. Agree? Okay. Beliefs, values, and commitments define why and how we do what we do. This was that section of the survey where I'm like, what should we never stop doing? What do you love about this place? Who are we that we should never stop being? Because that defines why we do what we do, right, and how. We interact warmly and intentionally with all members of our community and continually invest in an intentionally positive school culture, right? Each time we gather, we open with celebrations to anchor ourselves in joy and community. Beliefs and values made the cut, so they're in the plan. Okay? Outcomes. These are pretty new for us. Like this little measurable metric thing. Outcomes demonstrate progress toward goal. And I say progress toward goal because it's important that nowhere up here does it say we're going to have a 93% retention rate. We just say we're going to have amazing retention. And outcomes are about progress. Year 1, oh look, we had 89%. Year 2, we had 91%. Year 3, we're looking for progress over time. Is everybody on the same page about that? Okay, cool. Here's a couple of here's outcome alignment, right? If goal 2 was this is what one of the outcomes would look like. High levels of family volunteerism and engagement. High levels, not 22,000 hours, right? So let's measure it, and then let's look at it and go, should that be higher? Let's try to grow in that section, right? Actions have their own metric, their own measurement. Actions are collectively agreed upon steps toward accomplishing our goals. So the goal was, we want to have an awesome school culture, or, well, I got it right here. We want to create systems that produce positive student behavior. That is an action that will take us toward our goals. And I say they're collectively agreed upon because all that quantitative and qualitative study that we did, this is what we heard people saying. Families said behavior. Staff said behavior. Students, believe it or not, said chicken nuggets. But they also said behavior. So the actions are collectively agreed upon and will be collectively measured through celebrations and setbacks forms. Remember these from our last strat plan? Where we said, oh, look, goal 1, objective 1 was measured 98 times over that period of time. And you can go through and read. All 98 of them are right here. This time, when shared leadership committees get together and are working on this, they will be entering data here that says, hey, today we launched a professional development around de-escalation. It's a behavior strategy. Today we launched a professional development around PBIS to talk about how do we behave nations collected annually. So you see the difference between the measurements and these action steps. I want to clarify that because I've been doing a lot of thinking about like how to make sure we are clear about what we're trying to measure. We are going to measure actions by saying, are we taking action? There will be, of the 12 actions, there will be years that we don't attack or address an action. We are clearly addressing action 2 deeply next year, right? You've seen it in the board packet, you've seen it on the board slides. So we'll see lots of entries next year, and that's how we, the board, will keep track of, are we making movement on these actions? Whereas here, these are kind of evergreen. We're going to be, every year, you're going to start to look up at this little dashboard and go, oh, we have more volunteer hours than we had the year before, or we have less. Or maybe you go down 3 years in a row and the board goes, hey, I think the executive director should lean on that one. I think that one seems to be trending the wrong direction. Should that be one of the executive director's goals, right? Whereas this one here is, if you look at a particular action and there seems to be no action happening, you might say, hey, John, or executive director, maybe that's one you should get. Where's that in the queue? Is that coming up? Does that make sense, you guys? So the actions are measured by action, and the measurements here are really outcomes. There's surveys and dashboard data and things like that. Okay? I'd love some feedback on some of those pieces, but conceptually I wanted to get all of them on the board. Goals, beliefs, commitments, outcomes, actions, and measurements. As far as the content of the strat plan itself, these content pieces, are there any questions? And my question for you is, do you have the necessary clarity on these pieces to vote next month? Do you have what you need on those pieces? Feel okay? All right, cool. So, imagine during the fall of 2026, believe it or not, it's like 5 minutes away. It's the fall of 26. It's the first 5. And we are like discussing our goals as our desired state. And we as staff and we as the board and we as the community are going, yeah, let's go there. And we discuss our beliefs and commitments as the Westlake way. We're like, this is what we do. We are kind to one another. We're intentional about celebrations. We're talking about this in the fall because we're launching this strategic plan. And we're discussing outcomes as the longitudinal health. We're just going to collect this data, and over time, we're going to know how healthy we are as an organization. Then we roll up our sleeves and take action. It's the fall. We're setting these visionary sites up here, but the real deal is, what are we doing in the fall? We're probably working on behavior, right? So immediately in the fall, we get to work, and then throughout the year, our shared leadership teams are reporting on the actions through that form. So it's in the fall. What are we doing? We're rolling up our sleeves, and throughout the year, you'll see the form go, tick-a-dunk, 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 and there's setbacks in there too. Hey, we rolled out this one thing and nothing changed. Okay, so we're trying a different thing, right? So that's what should happen throughout the year. Also throughout the year, these little data points are going to come in. I'm going to get staff survey in October. I'm going to get parent survey in October. I'm going to get all these little, we're going to update the California school dashboard in October. So all of these data points are going to start trickling in, and I'm going to collect them into a little Westlake Charter School Strategic Plan dashboard website that'll be available to you. So as the data comes in, I probably will, because I can't help myself, report on some of it here. Right? Because I'll come on and go, hey, I just got the family surveys back, and here's some data for you. But what's important is that data is going to populate to this thing we're going to call this little internal dashboard. So we're collecting it all. Because I believe, and I spent maybe too many hours on this, but these data pieces, they speak to each other. As you look at how the surveys and the outcome metrics under each goal area speak to each other, these things in isolation of one another might not make as much sense. So what I propose is this. Throughout the year, we're talking about it on board slides where appropriate. We're internally posting it. So if you see some data, go, hey, John, you didn't talk about this piece of data at the board meeting. Could you either share it with me or bring it up at the next board meeting? Absolutely, because that's for you to look at. But I would propose this. At the end of the year, we compile all the measurements from that data dashboard into an end-of-year annual strategic plan report. I'll try to keep it under 10 pages. And we'll have a report. We'll have like these are all I remember he did talk about lottery results. Oh, that's right. The parents felt this and the staff felt that. He talked about that. But now you've got it all in one place so you can look at all the metrics for goal 1 and go, how's goal 1 looking? Because then, bless you, the board can see all of our measurements all in one place from a 40,000 foot level, not down in the weeds, and really look at this all demonstrating the growth of our organization. So I would have you imagine that like the board now has this full report. from the 40,000 foot level. We can identify, areas that need our attention. We could celebrate that which we wish to perpetuate, and we could kind of put a spotlight on, hey, this area looks like it maybe needs some help. And then we can watch throughout the year as the data populates again into the next report. So my proposal then is that, like, on this reporting cycle, that we start collecting the data, put the data in an internal mechanism, put the data up on the regular executive director slide deck as we go through the year, but at the end of the year we have it all in one place, and then we use that to say, well, is there anything we really need to focus on in the next year? So I'm looking for a little feedback on that. It sounded like the plan itself and the components of the plan make sense, but does this make sense and is it desirable? Sally?
This feels like a significant improvement on the clarity of communication. It feels very concrete compared to just storytelling, and it feels really good. Can you talk about the setback piece? Because I haven't heard that language before. Like, where does that come from now, and then where do you envision it?
That's my exact same question.
I'll keep it on the slides, but maybe I can't get there because it's 8,000 slides back. Oh, there it is. This Google, maybe I'll just go here. On the board website and our strategic plan link right there, there's the previous strategic plan. You have this Google form here. I'll make it bigger so we all look at it. That previously just really the admin team would use on a weekly basis, and we'd go, hey, what'd you see this week? And every administrator would go, they'd click one of these, and they'd go, okay, select your team, admin team. Okay, I'm selecting goal 1, hit next, and they'd go, which of goal 1, objective 1, and I'd go, hey, we went to the job fair this week at Sac State, and we tried to recruit some new teachers, and that's a celebration. But this form is called Celebrations and Setbacks, because it's totally appropriate for the admin team to have gone to the job fair and go, we went to the job fair, and not a single person stopped by our booth. I think we need a bigger Everest.
Okay.
Or better banners.
That's helpful, because I was starting to get confused between the difference between what a setback is related to an action versus if it's actually the measurement.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't want the measurement to end up in the action list where we're not seeing it here. So
great point.
It's more like this is where maybe our action is struggling and we need to
Yeah, so this really comes from that whole philosophy at Westlake Charter School, leaning into failure and fail forward, and it's okay to fail because you learn from failure and you stretch your rubber band. And it's it's that whole kind of that whole philosophy around it's okay to fail. No one's batting 1,000 here, and so we've kind of really said to the admin team throughout the years that we've done this, hey, write it down, man, so that you have it. We're going to roll this out though from admin to shared leadership teams on this strat plan, because that was the vision. It's how do we get this out to? How do we get staff voices in it? So I conceptualize the behavior team that's working on behavior and getting prepared to put on the behavior PD in the fall, that team would use this celebrations and setback form to inform the community. All right, well, we launched a PD, or we worked with this vendor, or we did this thing. Okay. So, yeah. So these are going to be self-proclaimed setbacks by those folks who are admitting, this thing didn't work the way I wanted it to. Setbacks on measurements they wouldn't be deemed setbacks. If we were green in math on the dashboard, and then the subsequent year we became orange on the dashboard, we would all look at that and go, that's clearly a setback. Yes. But it wouldn't say it, except we would say it. We would go, that's probably an area we need to work on. Yeah. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it is a real step forward for the organization in clarity and the utilization of metrics. I'll never stop storytelling because you've met me, but also having this juxtapose the storytelling makes some predictability. Yeah. And I would wonder as a board if we get to the end of year report and we go, gosh, I wish we had this other metric. If you don't find new metrics and grow, but you can't edit a blank page, so we'll start somewhere. Raleigh?
I love the work you've done on this. I love how you've kind of taken not only our strategic plan for this and really, put this together, but really thought forward, being on the board for 3 years now. I think having this kind of metric and really being able to, I think the data always helps. I am a data person, so I love that piece. But it also provides a lot more visibility into the work that we are doing. And we do. I think we have really meaningful conversations at our board meeting. We are very much aware of everything that's going on at the school, at the 40,000 feet level, and the conversations that you share and everything you do present. But I think now we get a little bit more kind of support behind the storytelling that I think is really going to be helpful. And having this kind of summarized report would help. I mean, I remember coming into a existing strat plan and really being able to pick up and be like, okay, this is where I'm at. So I just think it's a lot more clarity into everything that is going on, more than already we get, which I think is good, but this is just going to blow us to another level and really hold accountability in terms of where we feel like we want to strategically kind of plan the next action and really be able to drive change in our organization. So thank you.
Love it. Yeah. Well, anybody else on the reporting cycle itself? We'll see how it goes. And when we get that report, maybe we'll do an annual summer workshop, or maybe we'll do it in the fall. But like, we'll have this report, and we'll be able to start to use it accordingly.
One thing I do want to share is, I think that we have a lot of tools that we're using to measure these outcomes. It'll be very interesting to see if we may want to change what kind of tools we'll use going forward, because a lot of it is surveys, a lot of it is things we have, but I don't, not that I have any ideas for it right now, but I mean, I just think that's one area that'll allow us to will provide more clarity once we know what we do have, to be able to say, what's not fitting in this bucket. I will say, I think there is opportunity there, and I think we should always consider that.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens over the next 5 years, because I don't think anything is good or bad unless compared to something else, and so it won't be until the second year where we go, did you go up or down? Because we're growth minded. So it'll take 2 years just to get started. And by the third year, you're like, oh, I'm going to want to change it, but don't change it because you got to stick with it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I also worry that we measure what matters. And so just by measuring it, you've said it matters, and it changes people's behavior. So Sally out there in the classroom is like rocking something, and she starts to realize that we're measuring something that she wasn't focused on, and she starts to focus on that and stops doing what she's doing. And there's a danger there, so we have to be aware of that and cognizant of that, right? Yeah. Okay, so that is reporting cycle. The last piece I wanted to talk was edits, all the Oxford commas. So I would like to send it to the publisher next Thursday, but the truth is I work for you, so I can send it out the following Thursday if you needed me to. But I'd love to get it out next Thursday because I would like to do multiple iterations of layout. I think it's going to lay out the 5 key pages, are going to lay out into 10 pages so we can spread them out and get some pictures in there and some testimonial bubbles and some things like that. So questions to clarify. I'm recommending, but I'm going to ask you, I think we should move the metrics page to the appendices. I just think the strat plan itself is mission, vision, goals, and actions. Then you take those metrics, because they're long and kind of cumbersome to get through, and you just move into an appendices. That's my recommendations. Anybody have any pushback on that idea?
Is that the measuring the outcomes?
Measuring the outcomes section, yeah. It'll still be there. That way we can say, oh, this strat plan is roughly 5 to 7 pages, not 22. Okay, cool. Still have the content. This is a big one, and I hope you read through them. I redlined all the assumptions that got moved into the beliefs and commitments. You saw that. Then I left the assumptions that were assumptions. Did you bring tonight assumptions that needed edits? Did you bring tonight a vision that we need these assumptions? Do you have a thought on, like, do we need the assumptions? We haven't talked a lot about whether or not these assumptions make the cut. I assumed. Just kidding. So I'd love to talk about that, because assumptions make the cut or they don't. And I know you just read this thing coming into tonight's meeting. How do the assumptions feel to you coming in?
I thought they were good, and I'm going to betray my bias here, and I was wondering if on the second page of them, whether funding, the political climate can greatly affect charter school accountability, blah, 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 funding. I feel like
I'm going to try and bring it up, sorry.
And then also under the implications, just under that, whether, financial implications might be something.
So sorry, I'm trying to.
That's okay.
Yep, sorry, you are
So
in, you're in
it's
assumptions.
page 18.
You saw us all squinting, got it.
There we go.
18?
Yes, so they're up at the top, the political climate can greatly affect charter school accountability and their ability to replicate and/or expand.
True.
I feel like maybe, finances might also be affected.
Political climate and economic conditions? Is that what you're saying, or?
More the political climate can affect the finances.
Oh.
Rather than the finances can, I mean, it goes both ways, honestly, but.
So do you want to couple them or and them? So political climate and economic conditions can greatly affect, or are you saying that the political climate can greatly affect economic conditions, which can greatly affect? Which are you saying is true? Because I like the and, but sometimes political climate impacts charter schools without economic impact. You know, just
Sure, yeah.
Do you want to try and and it, or do you want to do another bullet point?
Oh, no, I don't think it needs to be another bullet point. And I don't even know, I don't know whether it needs to be in there.
But I like
just
it.
thought I'd bring it up as,
I think it's like
finance chair.
100% a legit finance chair. The political climate and economic conditions can greatly. Yeah, the political climate and national, local, and chicka, yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
just ask, with this one, when I read replicate and or expand, it brings me back to like 2017.
True. Maybe we just change that, their ability, because we were trying to expand.
Yes,
and
and so that's why
But,
it feels a
but
little strange now that it's not.
can affect
what-
charter school accountability and the manner in which they operate?
Yes, because
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
saying replicate and expand, it's actually
Dude,
all
it's
of our
all the things.
operations.
It's everything. It is
Okay.
the manner in which we can stay in a temporary facility, a manner in which, it's everything.
Everything.
Yes, I like that. Let's capture that language. We're adding economic conditions and we're going to operate. Okay.
And then I was wondering about under implications too.
Implications?
Whether there should be something about financial implications. I did not wordsmith anything in particular about a financial implication, but, or whether now that we've added it into number 2 above, whether we don't need it as an implication, because it's sort of implied.
Yeah.
I had a question about adding the economical piece instead of keeping it under societal assumptions number 2. Would it be best to add it under economic assumptions, bullet point 3, where we talk about a continued need to effectively manage resources and look for additional sources of revenue to ensure financial stability and accountability, or put in something related
You
to
want to just add a
political
bullet?
climate?
You want to add a bullet there that says national, local, and state economic conditions can have a chicka right here? You want to just put it in this section?
We could do,
Then that removes the political piece.
Well,
which
then
I-
we leave political here.
Oh, you're saying
You'd have the same statement 2 different ways.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
You'd have
I see
political
you
under
wanna split
societal
them.
and economic under economic.
I just, I thought that the financial piece was best suited under economic assumptions, but I don't know if you were also trying to
Did
say
you
the
want to keep
political
them
climate.
together?
Yeah.
Political and economic?
That's what.
I felt when I was reading the political one that economics were missing, even though we had a whole economic assumption. So it was almost like it was a political assumption about economics rather than an economic assumption
yeah.
about economics.
Yeah, I buy
Does
that.
that make sense?
I see,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause it's-
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because the
That's very
the political winds blow and influence, like we saw the May revise today,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That was a politically motivated economic situation.
That makes sense.
Worked out well for us. Yeah, okay, I like that. It sounds to me like we want to keep the assumptions because we're having fun with them right now. And I love them, but
My only thing is excluding any assumptions, what does that say? By putting them, it says we've thought about these. I know it clarifies that we thought about these. I don't know if it opens up the conversation or things down the line of whatever we didn't include in our assumptions, what is,
We didn't assume.
yeah. And that may not be true, that was my only pushback on should we include assumptions or not. But
That's good, I mean, yeah.
There's probably something we're gonna
Oh, there's
gonna
definitely
miss,
something.
right?
we're
Not
gonna
probably,
miss.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
it's
What
multiple
value do we
things.
have by adding assumptions? I kind of wanted to ask the rest of the board.
Yeah, that's a good question. What value do assumptions add to a strategic plan forecasting the next 5 to 7 years of growth?
I think it's off balance if you're not connecting the assumptions somewhere in the strategic plan. You know, somewhere in the action, or, you know, how we come up with that, you know, see economic assumption 1 or a footnote or something where it just kind of flows right back into the document where it's specifically pointed out versus.
Did you find any assumptions that you felt stuck out and didn't connect? Because I'm like a loose thinker, so I can connect a tree to a, yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, the political one just kind of stuck out for me in general, just because I feel like right now it is a lot different than it has been in the past.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Well, but as a state-funded operation, 501c3 school, entity, it is true that the political climate can greatly affect our ability to operate. Is it important for us to write that down? It is or isn't, I guess.
Well, I also had I mean, maybe it's not a concern, I'm thinking too deep, but to combine political and economic climates into one area, to me, that kind of implies that maybe they're one and the same or work off each other when they can be two totally different things.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, bullet point 1, though, that Josh brought up was like, he wanted to tie each one back, and my presumption was.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to but, you know, kind of as they're used or outlined in the main document to refer back to the assumptions.
I think, though, I'm just gonna push back, and you can push back on me, but I think these are assumptions about we, the decision makers. When we wrote this document, and we said, we're gonna focus on student behavior and special education, we, the people who decided that, also knew that, hey, school choices continue to be that these are about us, the people who wrote the plan, and then there's the plan. So I wouldn't inherently go through the plan and say, see assumption 7. I wouldn't do that. But that also says, like, to Nerali's point, I don't know if you need the assumptions at all, because there's also assumptions we didn't make.
In some of these assumptions, it also, for me, it seems almost like a bit of a blueprint for new board members, because these are things that somebody may not know.
Yeah, good point.
Like, we said we were gonna do this. I didn't even consider that
Okay.
impact, or that something that we would have to continually revisit, or that we would have to invest in, or there's different things here that I think someone who has not been on this board would read and learn from.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's right, that's a piece that I'm.
That's good. That is good information. Nerali and Sally?
One thing we do talk about in this assumption that I realize, I don't believe we talk about the use of artificial intelligence when it comes to, and rightfully so. I mean, I don't think we need to, but that is one area, and its use and.
Did we not
It was
update
in
this?
here
It's in
somewhere.
there.
I saw something about AI
I
somewhere.
added AI, but was it this version or is it the next? Did I already edit it?
I know the assumptions have it, but.
Assumptions do have it.
Yeah, the assumptions do have it.
Oh, yeah.
The assumption has
Yeah,
it.
right.
But if we take out the assumptions, I know artificial intelligence is the use of AI in the
see what
way
you're saying.
curriculum. So in some ways, I mean, I'm kind of going against why assumptions are good to also include. I mean, I see the fight on both sides, but like that is one example where you ask, if we took it out,
Right,
well,
what would
I'm
be-
hoping everyone knows that we take that into consideration, but we don't specifically call that out, you know? It just like political climate is
Yeah,
probably the other thing.
yeah.
To me, those are probably the 2 biggest points, but again, it's about us.
I think the
about-
assumption comes into play when we, this board, authorize something and a constituent says, that's not your strategic plan. We're like, hey, hold up. We did say, we assumed at some point the political climate would do a thing and we've got to be responsive. Or, hey, we're moving on to AI because that's what we're doing, but it's not a strategic plan initiative, but it was part of our assumption that at some point that would come to fruition. Yeah, that's an interesting play. The assumptions are an interesting play that way. Sally, you had one?
I wonder if the assumptions are more about us, are they appropriate to have in a strategic plan that is public facing?
I would think that it would protect us so that when people come out with the DEI sword, which was mentioned at the last board meeting, like, hey, wow, is that gonna get us in trouble? We write in the assumptions that this board took it under, like, we knew what we were doing walking in. So I think it kind of protects you a little bit.
Okay.
I think.
I agree.
That way nothing got slipped into the plan that we didn't already say, hey, well, we assume that
And it also makes things seem a bit more purposeful. when you
intentional,
have-
yeah.
Yes, intentional, thank you.
Yeah, and I think I want to not want to cut the assumptions, but now that I'm thinking about it, where else would these go?
Can we have it as part of our approval?
Could you put it in the charter?
I mean,
Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I'm kind of on board with what Sally said, which is, this is such a forward-facing document. Does this necessarily belong in something where we are really focusing in on the school? And I feel this kind of focuses on the kind of the thought process behind it, which is important. Just don't know if it needs to be completely tied to this. Can be tied more so through our approval as a board and kind of be kept in a more formal format in that manner.
Yeah. I mean, my pushback, because I'm such a contrarian, I mean, I could have gone either way, but I'm like, oh, let's argue. My pushback is, this is your plan, and these are the assumptions upon which you set out that plan, and that is a form of transparency that I think is why we're on YouTube tonight.
My fear is that, as you were mentioning, it protecting us, that it would do the opposite,
Yeah.
that it would be in secret or it would be hidden. And feel like we didn't want to share it with the public and we didn't want DEI written somewhere, we didn't want certain things public facing.
And if
I
that's,
actually feel it might hurt us.
Which is what
To,
you were saying.
to take it out?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, to hide it somewhere, to
Right.
put it in a more of an internal document.
a 300-page charter document that no one's ever gonna read. I've read it. It's brilliantly written.
I hope you read it.
I wrote it. Yeah, I know, okay.
Yeah, usually my editing is cut this, let's be more succinct, but I feel like keeping these so that a new board member coming on can be like, okay, well that, I see what these people were thinking when they wrote this other
Yeah.
thing.
How did they get there?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any particular assumptions that you don't feel are aligned with the values of the organization and the board? Where is the AI statement? I know we wrote it.
I can't
I
find
know,
it now
I know, I
either.
read it, and I
Educational,
Is it in educational?
educational
Mention me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
under
it's red.
education.
Oh, yeah, it's number 4.
What page?
It's red.
16.
Our eyes don't wanna pick up the red.
Yeah, it's red, but it's not crossed
It's right
out,
there,
number 4.
number 4.
Oh,
Down
right,
at
'cause
the
it's
bottom.
new. Yeah. It was red because it's,
Whenever I
it's
see
new.
red, I think I was skipping it.
yeah, that's right, yeah.
We
it's-
just mentioned that
Yeah.
term just right there, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying we need it in the rest of the document, but that really kind of, it's a big one, in what we do. Are doing.
Well, the previous strategic plan said this first part. Discernment regarding what is factually true. And this red edition is regarding artificial intelligence. Yeah. Okay.
Good work bringing it from all of this
Down to this.
to this.
We're here. Okay, any other pushback, thoughts on the assumptions?
I just have a general question. If we're debating, do we put the assumptions in, do we take the assumptions out, do they protect us, do they possibly expose us? Is it worth having a legal mind answer that question?
Well, the last strategic plan has been on file for 6-7 years, and it had all of these assumptions previously, and legal had been through them. So I don't know that I'd waste the dime for the new ones, because we only wrote 3 new ones. So I think the concept has been validated as
Okay, cool.
appropriate. Yeah, these aren't new assumptions, these are all carryovers, and the concept of assumptions is a carryover as well. Yeah, good question, though. Good? Okay, I feel like there was one thing we didn't get to on that. Somebody had a comment that we didn't make an edit on. Oh, it was you guys. We
No.
kept it in political?
But she had a financial piece to add to the implications, I thought, the fourth piece.
Well, maybe, or, or the implication is implied, which is, that's kind of irrelevant.
There's a
but-
weird thing about the implications. I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
aren't all the assumptions, don't they all have a, we didn't spell out an implication for every assumption.
Right.
Which is funny.
So I don't know that it needs to be in there, because I feel like if you read that part of the assumption, then you also might assume something, so, which would
Okay.
be the implication.
Nerali?
No, I was just thinking, I remember there was a two-part.
Right, Josh said tie it back, and I kind of pushed back on the tie back.
And there
What was
a
his other
second
piece?
It was about combining political and economic and whether they're separate or one thing, but, because I mean, they can move
Yeah.
unilaterally of each other.
Yeah. Do you want me to script a second in economics and add economics to the political?
I'm neutral. I think it could work both ways and see.
Yeah, my thought was we had an economic to the economic and leave the political where it is as is.
Sean, you okay with that?
I guess it kind of depends how that words out.
Let's word it. We're here. Let's word it out.
Can we definitely not keep the ending as is, though? Can we just change the?
I would just duplicate the ending, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Oh, except for
the new
that
ending.
part.
The
Yeah,
new
the
ending.
new ending. Yeah,
Okay.
got it. Let me go back. Let's go back.
That's the part in this that didn't
Yeah.
make sense to me.
Yeah, we might as well, because we're here, and the thing is, we are, we're
Coming
bringing
down
the
to the
ship into
wire.
port, and it's park at the slaw, here we are at the end.
Number 3.
Okay, so if we move it to economic, and we just find the same, oops, sorry, you guys go ahead out loud.
No, I was thinking about the fact that we talk about
Microphone's on.
The fact that we talk about accountability right there, and how that closely aligns with, the closest thing I can think about is under economic, having the number 3.
Oh, no, there are many, many accountability pieces that come from state legislation that don't have anything to do with economics, right? I mean, there's
Oh, yeah.
lots of state legislation that directs the manner in which we operate,
Yeah.
right? Curriculum, instruction, behavior, ed code, all of that is, and political wins change many pieces about school accountability. In fact, most of this school accountability that this is referring to is the California dashboard.
Correct. But aren't we trying to add the impact of political climate into economic assumptions, or am I misunderstanding?
Oh, yeah, I thought we were trying to put economic assumptions up there, or
Yeah.
economic assumptions.
Just cut and paste it, take out the word political, put economic, and add another
Oh,
one up there.
completely misunderstood.
Along with, changing the ability to replicate with run the
Right.
organization,
Yep.
or however we
Yeah.
relate
So we have two competing thoughts, and let's shop them both and let's make a decision. Thought number one is the political climate and greater economic reality can greatly affect charter school accountability and their ability to operate. So we can wordsmith that, but that's basically greater economic conditions and political climate independently or together can do a thing. Or take this statement, leave it there, change the end, and replicate it up here that says the greater economic climate can greatly affect charter school accountability and their ability to operate, and you put that up here. Those are the two competing ideas on the table, I think. True?
I think so.
Okay. Fight it out.
Do none of the rest of those bullets, though, cover what the economic part you just said? That's what I just don't understand is what the
I wonder if in
difference
number
is.
2, if we,
Yes.
you know, somewhere in the, like, state, federal funding sources kind of area, whether we could add, it's not,
Something
I feel
that's
like it
more general,
might be able to be put in there.
because it almost
Because
feels like these are
those-
specific and then we're just throwing in
Because state
open
and federal
one in there.
funding sources can be affected by the political climate, right? I mean, obviously. So maybe,
Number 5, added to number 5, economic pressures, including political.
But that's for recruitment and retention of staff.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe given that we do say state and federal funding sources, I mean, maybe we have an assumption about our assumption that the state and federal funding sources are affected by the political climate, and we don't need to say it at all, and I retract my suggestion entirely. Sorry for wasting everybody's time.
Discussion exercise.
I think let it stand the way it is because it's already addressed in the economic assumptions.
You good?
I'm good.
Josh, you good? All right.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's much, that's great. This is the best.
But we still got to the changing the.
Yeah, we did get to change the end of that
Yeah.
sentence. Yeah, so change the end of the sentence. Yeah, you know, I love this nerd talk. This is great for me. I love it. All right, anything else then? So it sounds like we're keeping assumptions. Sounds like the ones we have stand. If there's a comma out of place, you got 7 days. Okay. Is this where we're at? Should we keep the assumptions? Okay. Are the icons, which are intended to align goals and actions, a value add?
Yes.
Oh, easy peasy. Is anybody, is anybody married to the icons themselves, or are you okay with allowing a publisher, a graphic designer to like fiddle around with them and make them pretty?
Make it pretty.
Okay, but they're pretty enough as stands, but they could be prettier. No? No.
I'm gonna judge.
Okay, you're not
your
judging that good.
icons.
Hope wants buttons, so I really want to make sure these things look good, man, because it's not like gold buttons, and so
Oh, that's a lot of
I'm all
pressure.
in. It's a lot of pressure. Gotta look good. So if one of them's ugly, I'm like, Houston said they're fine. All right, good.
When you
Okay.
weren't here.
When you were there, on your day off, your one day off for millennia. Yeah. All right. Are there other items you wish to address before publication, other than commas and edits? Because we'll talk about that right now next. Is there anything you're like? You came in tonight, you're like, oh, I hope somebody mentions there's this. No?
I have a bunch of dog ears.
What's a dog ear?
Where you bent
Oh,
down
yeah,
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Okay, good. Are they about edits or about
No, I
content? Yeah.
tried very hard to keep my
Good.
Oxford commas to myself.
Yeah, well, we can do those next, but let's do your dog ears.
but,
Let's
like,
go.
You know,
Take
these
me
are
to-
more clarification
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah, take me to a page, and I'll follow you.
Okay, page 8.
Let's go. Page 7, 8. 8, got it.
Okay, goal 5, beliefs and values. Bullet point 4,
Goal 5, beliefs and values.
bullet point 4, last sentence. We value this diversity in the broadest sense of its meaning.
Check.
I don't know what that means.
It's great. We believe our teaching and learning practices are influenced by our school's location in the community of Natomas. The community is regularly ranked as amongst the most diverse communities in the nation. We value this diversity in the broadest sense of its meaning. I think we are playing with words there, and maybe we shouldn't, but the diversity indicated by the New York Times is regarding racial diversity, and I am implying we actually value, and maybe not this, maybe the word, maybe as we value diversity in its broadest sense, because it's not for me or us, I think we, it is not just racial, it is racial, linguistic, cultural, it is socioeconomic, neurodiversity, right? There's more than racial diversity, but the New York Times claims this is the most racially diverse zip code in the nation. So is it okay if I just strike the word this?
That makes
Yes.
it
You
much more
just
clear.
made my life so much better because I love that statement. I was like, yes, because I want that. We love the diversity of our community, and we really love diversity in its broadest sense.
And I like taking out this because it's all diversity.
Right.
'Cause
Right.
And then
diversity
that
could
makes
also
it
shift.
clear
Yeah.
Makes
We
it
were
clear it's not
talking
just
about it's
this.
a diverse community, but we like all the diversity.
These edits are super important because I will forget the minute we walk out here. Got it, okay.
Okay.
Do you need the doc? You got it. Like, do you want to just work on doc 7?
Yes.
Yeah, stand by. Can you throw a doc, or,
Are you capturing?
where's doc 8? It's 8. Could you open up 8 out of the folder? Okay, rad.
Okay.
Next, dog year.
Next page, we talk about when the family and staff surveys launch in the fall and that the family happens again in the spring.
Yes?
But we don't say when the student survey is. But just above,
yeah.
we said that we were surveying the students,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
feel like we should.
It is gonna be in the October session, or that same session in the fall. So where are you at?
It's the last paragraph before the goal.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it says
Family
when
survey
they are.
repeats in the spring. So that is something I said quickly, maybe the last meeting, and I'm saying it again now slowly. We've done 3 surveys a year for families. I'm proposing we go down to 2, and we anchor them around conference week, so we can leverage that
Yes.
practice. We're good?
Yes.
All right, cool. So then let's note family and staff surveys. So family, comma, students, comma, Oxford, and staff surveys launch in the fall, coinciding with parent conference week. That's the answer.
And it's only the family survey that repeats, so then it
Check.
stands. Got it.
Check, check. Is that good?
That is good.
You're
Yes,
right, you got
thank
that? You're also rad.
Page 12,
Yes, ma'am.
number 4, publish a systematic method to ensure compensation, benefits, and investments. It's not necessary to go on to the rest of it, but then number 7, identify investments. And I feel like those aren't the
Yeah,
same investments,
they're
and
not.
investments comes up in
Yeah.
other
Good,
places, so.
good catch. So this is regularly, well, they are similar to investments. Let me share. So when we talk about staff retention, and we say, hey, compensation matters. How much you get paid matters. Benefits matter. But there are other investments that are made in this school that cost real dollar money. We all had open house last night, and we all had dinner together. And we're all eating sandwiches and smiling and laughing. And the dollars that go into those sandwiches are investments. And then I talked to a teacher friend of mine this morning who works at another place, and I was laughing about the sandwiches, and she said, "You guys get dinner?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, haha, you guys don't, no, your admin doesn't feed you?" They're like, "God, no." And that is a real investment that I think we need to publish. Not that it really matters, but I think it would be nice to have something that says, wow, look at all the things we actually invest in. So that is an investment. So it's somewhere it will say sandwiches, which would be embarrassing.
That's what I understand. Every
Yeah.
other instance where it says investments, that's how I read it. But
Right.
in number 4, because it's talking about compensation benefits, it's like what we
know.
do with I read it as like, let's buy stock in fill in the blank
wow.
stock.
Yeah, well, no, because you're the finance chair, that makes a ton of
Right.
sense.
So
Yeah.
I'm not.
Review, create, and
It became
communicate
clear to me
transparent
that that was
structures and
probably the
processes
same.
aligned to compensation benefits and investments with organizational values and goals. And what's that icon mean? I think that's organizational health, we demonstrate what's possible. And this one, lead, innovate, and demonstrate what is possible when organizations commit to a culture and climate where all stakeholders feel like good stuff's happening. And that might be the same investment that I'm describing up here, Sean, you're right. But I'm using it here because it really connects to compensation, benefits, working conditions, recruit, retention. And I'm using it down here
As more
very specifically around culture.
culture.
And they might be the same darn list. Yeah. And if I'm gonna do it, where do we wanna put it? Isn't it go up here, or is it gonna go down here? When you're reading through the actions, it's gonna land in one action or the other.
And investments comes up multiple times, and that was how all the other times I was like, oh, that's probably what that
We're
one
investing
meant,
in the
that
people and
in
the
number
culture and
4. But when I read number 4, because it was, I think, the first time I came across the word investment, just because of what else it's talking about, I thought it meant like stocks and bonds and the such as,
And-
so.
And the reason this one matters is because publishing a systematic method says we have a salary schedule and we have a benefit schedule, but we're also saying working here has other, you get 12 sick days instead of 10 sick days. Those are, the board makes it, in those investments. So, but we also have sandwiches, which is an investment.
Cultural investments, maybe? I don't know.
Can you give me another word that would allow me to codify it that we don't call an investment? Say again?
I was thinking benefits, but we can't call it now. We're talking
Perks,
compensation.
yeah, perks. Allocations,
Immeasurables.
immeasurable, squishies? It's a squishy, no, not squishies, guy, yeah. It's a squishy, it's a,
Could we call it cultural investments?
I just don't, because culture has multiple implications, and I would call it organizational culture or school culture. But when we talk about diversity and culture, then you're like, cultural
Well,
investments?
so that's the thing, is are we investing in other cultures?
Yeah,
That-
because
That's
that
the way
gets the-
I would read it.
Yeah,
And
Staff
7,
investments?
staff, yeah. Investments into conditions,
actions.
That's good.
because you're talking about,
It's
you are talking about
conditions.
working conditions.
That is your working condition.
Let's go. Publish systematic method to ensure compensation benefits and working conditions are aligned with our, maybe it's just working conditions. Organizational investments? I wonder if it is working conditions being aligned with our values and, the working conditions
'Cause
here
that
are,
is-
we'd like to feed you on open house, because you should be fed,
And
because
you
we
don't
love
have
you.
to go after your parents to get school supplies, and there's all these like little things that
Right.
make things better.
They're the Westlake way.
Right. And are they different here, Sally, than down here? Because that's also the
That
same.
one, 7, I think, identify actions that create the conditions of an excellent school culture, identify circumstances, identify example, I don't know.
Oh, you want to take investments out of, yeah, okay. So these can be investments? John, are you okay with these, if I take this one out, or no, you
But
need
she
it
still
out of
read
here?
it that way.
Personally, now maybe I'm the only weirdo, but personally, if we don't clarify it with another word or change it to another word, at least now I know, but when I first read it, I was like, oh, we're gonna
It's
publish
because
it.
of
I mean, we have an
When
we
you
have
see
an
the-
investment
Yeah, 'cause-
policy.
yeah. Publish a
That's-
systematic method to ensure compensation benefits and investments into working conditions are aligned? Is it investments into working
Okay.
conditions?
That feels better.
Are we okay with that? 'Cause that to me, it says everything from sandwiches to school supplies. These are investments into the working conditions here.
12 sick days.
Is there a 12 sick days? It's an investment into the working condition, into the benefit of being here.
That's, special to Westlake.
Right. Optional work days after spring break and winter break. Those are investments into working conditions. And they're aligned with our beliefs and values, and they have a compensatory and benefited vibe. Everybody good with that? Josh, making a face.
I'm stuck on the word environment, so I want to jam it in there.
Investment.
In our benefits and school environments are organizational environments,
Instead of working conditions, working
Yeah.
environments.
Work environment? Working environment?
But then the way that you just said it, the investment still works. Investments in work environment, or working conditions, sorry. Investments in working conditions, because you are giving something, whether it's time or a product or.
Yeah, and the thing is that like the outcomes of retention and staff satisfaction are big outcomes for us. When we survey staff once a year and say, do you like the way the place is run? Is your compensation fair for what your do you feel valued and appreciated? And are you getting what you need? Like, that is a working condition. That's code. So I think putting working condition there works.
Is anybody gonna accidentally read it as compensation and working conditions, benefits and working, that's a comma thing. Do you know what I'm saying, Sean? Because it's gonna read compensation, benefits, and investments in working conditions, are they gonna take all three to be, do you know what I'm saying?
I think we're taking investments out.
Investments in working conditions.
we can.
Or we're just gonna do working conditions?
I thought that's what we were.
I'm sorry, maybe I missed that.
We can semicolon it, which would then separate it more. So
Sorry,
that it-
if you took investments out, I missed that. I was.
I didn't, but I guess he's right, you could. Cause it's a method to ensure that compensation benefits and working conditions are aligned with our beliefs and values. So you take investments out.
That solves the problem.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Hey.
Are we good? You good if we take the word investment out?
Oh, yeah, I thought that's what we were doing the whole time.
Well, you could have said so about 7 minutes ago.
I'll sit over here and look dignified.
You look dignified. You're looking dignified, Josh. All right, and then you're okay identifying investments down here.
Yes.
Okay. Hot dog. Next dog here.
We would take it out of the details of number 4 too, right? Because down below we say,
I wouldn't have, but good call. Yes, I would take it and put it right here. Good call. Thank you, Nirali. Take the investments out of the details of 4. Good call.
Okay, page 19.
We're cooking now.
3.1. I just, there's no questions or statements under it. It's its own statement. I just wanted to make sure. Because the
Yes,
others all have
in
things
my-
underneath them.
Yeah, in my V8, I've reordered this a little bit, I think. Let me take a look. Where am I at? Family
there's another
survey, 1-3. Obviously, the family won't see that part. 2-1, 3-1. Is there no 3-1?
Yeah, that is kind
And
of weird. if
it's the same
family
in the
survey.
annual staff survey too. So I just,
Gosh,
I
I'm
didn't-
gonna go to version 8 now. Where am I at? Well, I'll go scratch on it.
okay.
Yep, good call.
All right,
Well,
and
no,
then
I'm
I think my last one, so you guys can all cheer. Page 20.
Page 20.
So this student survey is for 3rd through 12th grade.
Yes, and I did pilot it with 18 third graders who, in Mrs. Sanchez's class. Thank you, Mrs. Sanchez's class. You're amazing. Hi, Paul Jacob.
I
Yes.
think it's wonderful for 3rd graders. I wonder,
If I
as
should
the
pilot with
parent,
older kids?
as a parent, I piloted it with one high school kid.
I bet I
in
know
my,
which one.
Yeah. My concern was that because it is to be
Less.
accessible to 3rd graders, that it might be a little. I'm
Less
having trouble
complex than it needs to be?
Yes,
Yep.
that's a much better
Yeah.
word
High
than any
schoolers
of
are
the ones
complex
that
and
came-
they like
yes.
complexity?
You can still ask the same questions,
Yeah.
but
Ironically, the problem with that is,
that it's not
can
comparable.
you ask the same
But,
question?
Yeah,
And that is the problem with
the
qualitative
statistic, yeah.
data analysis. I mean, when you ask a survey question, if you think you're asking two people two different questions that mean the same thing,
Yeah.
to create statistic validity is really harder than you think. I blew that during my dissertation in one section of my dissertation and had to rip it out and put it back together. So I'm a little gun shy because but I take it. I could create a more complex one, send it to a group of high schoolers.
the feedback that I got
Yeah.
was that, he gave me a specific question, but I don't remember what it was, sorry. My pen was having issues at the time.
Yeah, and not to
There was a specific question that he looked at, and he was like, I would give this a 3 because I don't know how to answer this.
Yeah,
In-
and he's
for as a high schooler.
He's the N of 1.
Exactly.
And so I think I'll just run this survey with 18 high schoolers and 18 middle schoolers, and then take that feedback accordingly. You know, because right now we get an N of 1. I'm like, well, let's take this out. So let's go give it to 18 high schoolers and 18 middle schoolers and see what shakes out. And if the feedback is like, if I can hone in on the question that's the one, then maybe it's a question issue. But if it's a global, like this is too simple, then we'll have to pivot. Does that feel okay?
It does.
Yeah, and actually we thought about, Sanchez's class was so great because we were worried about accessibility. And there were a couple of questions on here that proved to be a little confusing. So we're editing those in the next version. So I'll do some survey work between now and June. I think this is an appendices. So as we go to like authorize the strategic plan itself, the content seems right, but these instruments may evolve over time.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's see if we can get let's see what happens when I give it to a handful of high schoolers and middle schoolers, see what they say. Thanks for the feedback on that. While we're in the instruments here, I mean, it was the first time I think you guys had seen them. Anything jump off the page that you liked or didn't like? Sean, was that your last?
That was my last one.
Yeah.
I will shush.
No shushing. It's perfect. It's great. Anybody have any any thoughts you want to share on these pieces? I mean, the new family survey is different than the old family survey. Old family survey was 5 questions. The new one's like 15. We tried to code this, perseverance and joyful learning by saying, like, I'm excited to engage in learning. That's my joyful part, right? Satisfied with growth. Is this growth and excellence piece here? It should align, but, you just never know.
3.1, number 7 on the student survey.
Student? Whoa, where am I? Go down.
I learn and grow what I know at school. What does that mean?
Well, if you don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I learn and grow
I think it's grow what I know. Isn't
I
that how
know
it's supposed to be read? I
at
learn.
But that's the same
and
kind of
grow
thing
what
as I was talking
know.
about earlier, is somebody else would read it as, I learn what I know.
I learn and grow what I know. I learn and grow at school.
Yeah, I think what we're trying to get is to this growth piece here, and are you learning? Right? And we didn't want to just say learn and attach it to some form of excellence, like I have good grades,
Yeah.
but like I am growing. So I'm growing what I know. But it is an awkward turn of phrase.
It is.
Help me with it.
I would just take out what I know. Learn, I think, is a pretty self-explanatory.
Is grow maybe like, I got taller this year?
See, I don't think a third grader is gonna understand what
Since is that the one that they
in-
tripped
in
on?
the way
Some
of-
sixth graders wouldn't either.
my, yeah. I shouldn't say what my sixth grader, but I don't think she would understand that.
Is it, I am growing in what I know?
I am growing in what I learn and know.
Yeah, I guess we're trying to get to growth. We're saying, are you smarter this year than you were last year? We'll take credit for that.
Which, because if you're growing, then you're learning.
Yeah,
So-
but I don't know that they're inherently thinking growth.
No, I think grow sounds
Right.
Like height, yeah.
taller or growing a plant.
I learn and develop.
I know
I
more.
expand.
I'm expanding.
Oh, gosh, that's not that.
Don't body shame.
I'm expanding what I know.
Can we just say I learn more every, I learn more, I know it doesn't sound, I learn more every year? I mean, can we just,
I learn and grow what I know. Let's see. Reputation for academic excellence. Well, that just shows it right now, right? A bunch of us. I think it's this because we've coded this thing called academic readiness as growth.
Yeah.
We're trying to say I am growing.
I've
Well-
grown as a learner at school.
But am I growing? Am I learning, or am I?
But do we have to
Getting
use
smarter.
the term growth?
Yeah.
Like, we know what growth means, but do we have to
Okay.
use that
can we
in the
just say
question?
Yeah.
I learn more every year?
I'm
I
less
just-
dumb. Yeah, I learn more every year.
I mean, the goal is to figure out if they feel they are learning more every year, or we term it as
'Cause it's
growth.
their
But if I think about a
perception.
third grader, I don't think they're gonna know the difference between learning and growing. They might understand a
pretty smart.
basic concept. I mean, are we really just focusing on them feeling like they're learning more every year, or are we
Well,
focusing on
all these
learning more?
questions are aligned, but 3.1 doesn't have alignment. So, when I say 3.2 to families is this, theoretically, there's a student question that aligns to it, so we'll get a composite score out of it. So when we look at the data,
Gotcha.
we'll be able to say they have alignment. This one does not have alignment, so you could strike it, or you could,
But this one, like, it does say over here, I feel satisfied with the learning and growth my child is achieving.
and what, where's that? What section is that?
That's in 3.2 under family, so that seems like it's the same.
Right. There we go.
So I learn and grow what I know. Can it just be something about learning more?
Oh, that's what it is.
That
7.
they feel like they learned
7
more?
goes
Because
over
it's all
3.
perception. That's growth.
I feel satisfied with the learning and growth my child is achieving. So would you say to the student, I feel satisfied with my growth? Hi. I feel like I'm learning.
I think that's kind of how
that-
simple
I
it
think
is.
you're talking
is
about
Do they feel like they're learning?
Right.
That's growth.
Is it like learning enough?
What's enough?
Right. I wish I was taller.
So you're saying
keep
7
learning?
right there.
I knew you were gonna say that.
3.27 supposed to go under 3.1.
I think 7 goes down to 3.1.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to open up version 8 down here and see if I've already edited that.
That's when I saw it. I was like, oh, that's where
There's a
that.
suggestion of develop what I know.
We're not taking public comment right now, but thank you. Okay. Well, I've taken your feedback. I will make it clearer. I will case study it and bring it back. Right? Let's noodle on it with some fresh eyes in the morning and get it out in front of some clientele and see if we can make more sense.
Cool.
Yeah, like it. Anything else about the survey instruments that grab your attention? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Just a note, the pillars were updated because we have a high school now, and that was now reflected. Everybody read through those, they feel okay. And on that pillar page, I will be placing the core values because they belong in the strategic plan. We're gonna take the core value, SEL definitions off of them, because in the previous plan we had that, because we're bringing in a new, set of work around SEL in the fall as we launch behavior. So I'm not gonna put those in stone in the strategic plan, but we'll keep the 10 values in there. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, well, I'm walking away from that and coming back here. And now, the final. The Oxford commas and the colons and the semicolons. Nose goes, who's gonna edit this thing? Sean Berman, okay. It's due on Thursday. Just kidding. We'll work on timeline?
Sure.
Yeah, rad. Love it. Everybody okay with that? Nobody's like, oh, but I wanted to put commas in there. All right. Josh?
I use way too many.
You're very dignified. Yes, we love the commas. Okay, Sean will go through some technical edits. Okay.
Okay, because we have a closed session tonight, I'm gonna go a little bit out of order, for the rest of our agenda, and I will ask if there are any future agenda items. I have 3. We'll have the 26-27 budget, also LCAP, and, the strategic plan for next month. Anybody have anything else to add? Future agenda items? No? Okay. Then we'll go to reflection. What worked well and what would be better if?
All go. I like to thank for the honest feedback on Staff Appreciation Week and how it affects the teachers and the staff, because we see the communications, we see how everything goes out, and it's working. So I was glad to hear that feedback. I thought that was really good.
Which direction we going? Sapphire?
I'll go. Shout out to the chair today with her feedback and her edits. That was, you caught stuff that I wasn't even looking for. So that was great.
Yeah, nice work. Caroline?
I think we have done a lot on the strategic plan, and I think kind of seeing it all together and really looking at the forward metrics and really kind of changing up how we're, what's going to become presented to the board, I'm really excited about, and I look forward to that, so I appreciate it.
It's good. Sean?
I appreciated how dignified Josh was.
Yeah.
I appreciated you not all dogpiling me
Booing.
about my dog ears and my strategic plan. And I do really like the annual report thing, because I feel like especially as we get multiple of them, we can compare. Yeah,
Love it.
it's good.
Yeah, engagement for me is the win. I mean, the plus minus delta. What works well is when you all show up with dog ears and opinions and like very thought provoking. Like, should this be, or should this not be? And your willingness to grapple out loud with challenging, I haven't thought of that. That's what makes you a successful board, because you're able to say out loud, I don't know, but let's say it out loud and see what it sounds like. That works really well for me, and especially in this process. Ms. Sanchez?
I appreciated how you left the red lines and things when I was like reading through before. It helped me process like what the changes actually were.
Yeah, love it. Sally?
I appreciate that we've done such great work together this year, that we now know each other a lot better than we did at the beginning of the year or last year, so we are comfortable with each other and pushing back or questioning, and that feels good.
Yeah, love that.
I think mine's very similar. I really appreciate that we all said, why are we doing this? Should we do it? Should we not? Even if we get back to where we were, we've had the conversation. Instead of keeping things exactly the same as they've always been. And then I really appreciate that you're looking to make sure that the measurement portion is something that we are upgrading, which I think is one of the pieces that we've kind of said, we say we're doing it, but are we?
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, let's go for it. Love it. Steve?
Yeah, great job, Sean, running the meeting tonight.
Here.
And then I enjoyed the NASA Hunch video. Just to see
Yeah, that
how
was
that
great.
put
Yeah,
together.
that
I
was
was
good.
like,
That's
that's
good.
really cool. So,
Like
yeah,
you
there
said,
you
a
go.
video. You shared a marketing video. That's good. Let's see, boss.
All right, so the board will be adjoining into closed session under two items: A, conference with legal counsel, and B, conference with real property negotiators. I anticipate a report out on item A. I do not anticipate a report out on item B. Any reports from closed session will be captured in the meeting minutes. Can we check for public comments one more time before we adjourn? None?
So seeing none, I just want to re-articulate, we're going to turn the YouTubes off, but we will be reporting out, if we report out, coming out of closed session, if there's anything to report out, it will be captured in the minutes. So for those of you on the YouTubes, if you want to see what the report out is, it will be in the minutes. Okay, thanks everybody at home for tuning in, and good night, Paul. Oh, quick little break. Thanks everybody at home.